everyone, welcome back to the Talk Healing to Me podcast, the podcast where we explore all things health, wellness, and making life just a little bit easier. I'm your host, Karen Dwyer, and today we're diving into some of the most game-changing sleep advice I've ever heard. So if you tuned into my chat with Dr. Michael Breus, aka the Sleep Doctor, then you already know this man is a living, breathing sleep encyclopedia. We talked everything about from how your genes determine your sleep pattern to why waking up at the same time every single day is non-negotiable. But don't worry if you missed it, I've got you covered with the highlights and some practical takeaways to apply right now. So the idea of this is that you can listen to the episodes and you come back and you get that cementing of the tips and tools so that you can embed it into your own life from the comfort of your home. The Talk Healing to Me podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute medical or professional advice. The views expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host or the production team. Always consult your physician or a qualified healthcare provider regarding any questions you have about a medical condition or health objectives. Listening to this podcast does not create a doctor-patient or coach-client relationship. Let's start with the biggest takeaway from Dr. Michael Breus that really stayed with me. His belief that sleep is the domino of wellness. He said, and I quote, "You fix sleep and boom, 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 everything else falls into place." And he's absolutely right. If you're out there trying to improve your energy or lose weight or boost your mood or just function like a human being, it all starts with sleep. So you know I'm all about working smarter and not harder. And what's smarter than sleeping your way to success? Dr. Breus broke down how sleep impacts your hormones and hunger and energy and even your immune system. So if you've been struggling with fatigue, or brain fog, or those random energy crashes throughout the day, could actually be your sleep. And guess what? No amount of kale or HIIT workouts is going to fix anything if your sleep isn't sorted. So here's my challenge to you today. Before you start your next health kick or habit or whatever it might be, do a little self-check and ask, how is my sleep right now? The next one is how to actually do this. So Dr. Breus shared 5 simple strategies that you can start today. And let me tell you, they're so doable, you might wonder why you didn't do them before. So number 1 is the golden rule. Wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. I say that and I'm kind of wincing a little bit. I know it stings, but he was crystal clear. And on his point, your wake up time is the anchor for your entire circadian rhythm. So if you're waking up at 7:04 like me, Monday to Friday, and then hit snoozing until 9 on Sunday or 10, you're basically giving yourself just a mini dose of jet lag. Now, I have to tell you, I didn't want to hear this. I still don't want to hear this. And it's a pain in the bum, especially at the weekend. During the week, it's not so bad. However, even if you wake and you're there resting, that's okay. But getting up or waking up at the same time every single day, and I've seen this with my own 2 eyes on my clients as well. I have one particular client, let's call her H. One of the things she was struggling with was just having enough energy to get throughout the day. So she'd end up sleeping a little bit later. She'd go throughout her day and kind of drag herself a little bit, her words, not mine. And then she'd end up going to bed quite late and she found it hard to get to sleep. And because then she found it hard to get to sleep and then didn't quite know what time to get up at. And she'd give herself that little bit more empathy in the morning, which of course you're going to if you haven't slept. And then so she would sleep later and then the vicious cycle all over and over again. We had a chat one particular day on one of our live sleep calls. And I asked her to put a spoke in the wheel. And for a few days, it was going to be a little bit painful of just actually getting up a little bit earlier, the desired wake time, and take the pain for a few days. Now she is moving house. She's out dating. She started a book club. Her life has completely changed because she is present for herself every single day and not dragging her butt through feeling tired and exhausted. And also the endocrine system, everything was affected because of that one thing. So when we fixed it, everything, her whole life, her energy, her movement, her mood changed. So I know it's a pain in the butt, but I promise you it does make a difference. This episode of Talk Healing to Me is sponsored by Clean Boss, the world's most powerful botanical disinfectant and cleaner. Created by the one and only Joy Mangano, the legendary inventor behind the Miracle Mop and the woman whose story inspired the movie Joy. And let me just say this, her story saved me. Years ago, at one of my lowest points, sick, uncertain, and starting over, I kept watching that movie on repeat. It reminded me that resilience is real, that you can rise, that there has to be a better way. And that phrase, there has to be a better way, became a guiding light for me. And it's why Clean Boss feels so aligned. Because let's be honest, most so called green cleaners, they don't kill germs. And the ones that do are loaded with toxins, with fumes, and warning labels. But Clean Boss is different. Formulated by Joy herself and powered by nature with a little help from Pitbull. Yes, that Pitbull. Clean Boss is a botanically based disinfectant that kills 99.9% of viruses, germs, and bacteria. And it's safe enough to use on your kitchen counters, your baby's high chair, or literally anywhere in your home. No rinsing required. No scary ingredients. It's powerful, safe, and a perfect example of what this podcast is all about. Smart, everyday decisions that add up to real healing over time. So if you've ever found yourself thinking, there has to be a better way, this is it. Check it out at getcleanboss.com/Karen, because healing starts with the small things, and Clean Boss makes those things count. Number 2, you might not like this one either, but I promise you it's going to help. And it's reduce caffeine after 2 p.m. I don't drink coffee because I think it tastes like burnt ashes, but I do get it. I know a lot of people, they have like the caffeine life or the caffeine hits maybe in the morning. And look, what Dr. Breus said was it has a half-life of 6 to 8 hours, which means that just one more coffee at 3 p.m. could make sure that you're still awake and in your system by 11 p.m. That's wild. It's wild. I don't need any more vices, so I'm okay with that one. But some of you that love your coffee may not want to hear that. So if you are going to drink it earlier on in the day. Number 3 was alcohol. Watch the clock. So if you're like me and you enjoy a glass of wine on a Friday night, Dr. Breus was clear. Have your last drink at least 2 hours before bed. So every drink that you have, add a glass of water. Why? Well, because all alcohol, and I'm sure you've all experienced this, it wrecks your sleep cycle. And I really enjoy it at the time, but I don't enjoy it the next day when I'm exhausted. So it wrecks your sleep cycles and it dehydrates you, which is a double whammy for anybody that is dealing with any fatigue. Number 4 is power down before bed. So this one's genius and I'm stealing it for my own nightly routine. Dr. Breus calls it the power down hour. So here's the breakdown. He said 20 minutes to do whatever needs doing. So last minute tasks or, putting stuff in the dishwasher or whatever it might be. Then 20 minutes for hygiene. So washing face, brushing teeth, etc. And then 20 minutes for relaxation. So reading a book, meditate, or as Dr. Breus says, have sex. Yes, he actually said that. I blushed for a little bit though. I don't know why. I'm an adult, but I blushed a little bit when he said that. And look, I know this all sounds great, but I think that having the hour beforehand that it's, say, for example, it is 10 p.m. that you want to be in bed by. 9 p.m. is the power hour and that's when it starts. So it sounds a little bit militant, but I promise you it does make a difference. One of the things that personally has worked for me is I got a Kindle for my kids last Christmas. And one of the things, and I'm honest and open enough to say, I was so guilty of scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, and then I'd see notifications from clients or from other people. But all of the accounts that I follow, well, most of them are health related or productivity related, or there are things, education related. So then I'd see them and then I'd start feeling guilty, like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or I should be doing more, or look how great they're doing. And then it would give me this anxiety. So my brain would be racing before bed. So what did I do? I started reading my Kindle at night. I put my phone onto airplane mode, set my alarm, and I took out my Kindle. And one of the things that really works is you can put the screen on black and the writing in white so that my partner doesn't get like glaring in his eyes. The other thing that we did, so that's a wind down point of view, another practical piece that we did as well, because he's really good at like pulling the covers over onto his side. But also he moved a little bit over to my side as well. So we got 2 little pillows and we put them in between our heads so that side, I can't believe I'm telling you this, but I'm telling you because it really works for us. But I also got a second duvet. So I got like a single duvet for me. He has the king size one. And so he uses that. I pushed it over at his side. I have my one. Now, I don't actually put a cover on top of my duvet because I get warm during the night, whether it's perimenopause or just body heat, or if I've got a period, whatever it might be, my body temperature fluctuates. And sometimes I'd wake up like sweaty or gross. So I've got a 4.5 tug duvet with no bed linen over it. And that works amazingly for me. I'm also not worried about pulling the covers back over him or him pulling them over me. And it really works. So when I make the bed in the morning, mine goes underneath and the one with the duvet cover goes over the top. It works a dream. So the Kindle and the separate duvet covers and the little pillows between our head, and I'm out like a light. I go to sleep really easily. The other little tip that I do, it's a little bit embarrassing, but I do it anyway. I pull out the drawer that's beside my bed. So I've got a locker and I read and I have the Kindle over my hand. So if anybody's watching this on YouTube, if you're not following us on YouTube, make sure you go and follow Talk Healing to Me podcast. What I do is I put my hand over, and it's my underwear drawer. So underneath that, my hand is kind of over that, my Kindle's on my hand, so that if I do fall asleep, it's not going to make a loud bang or a clattering noise. And even then, so most of the time I will be awake still. I'll take off my glasses. I'll put my Kindle down on that so it doesn't make much noise if Nola's already asleep. And then I drift off to sleep. So I'm in that dozy sleep state and I'm not looking at my phone, which takes away that blue light as well. So in case that works for anyone, please do let me know. That is my little top tip that works for me. Now, on to Dr. Breus's tips. The fifth one was embrace non-sleep deep rest. So NSDR, we do love an acronym. This one was new for me. Ready to turn inspiration into transformation? Join the Inner Circle Book Club, where we explore life-changing books that spark energy, confidence, and joy. Each month we read, reflect, and challenge ourselves with exclusive coaching, powerful insights, and engaging discussions. It's more than just reading, it's about real change. Join us with the link in the show notes and get ready to start your next chapter today. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Let's grow together. So if you're tossing and turning at night, you don't have to force yourself to sleep. Instead, lie down in a dark room with your eyes closed and breathe deeply. So it won't give you a full hour of sleep, but it's scientifically proven to offer partial restoration. So it's like a little mini nap for your brain. So that is your 5-step sleep blueprint from Dr. Michael Breus. And if you only do one thing, try waking up at the same time every day. Trust me, I've been doing it and I actually feel calmer knowing when my day begins. I know many of you listening might have a chronic illness or MS, and I'm going to be real with you. Sleep with a chronic illness can be a beast. It might be pain, it might be numbness, it might be brain fog, it might be bladder issues, and it's like the whole universe is conspiring against you when you lie down at night. But I'm here to tell you there is hope. Dr. Breus shared a few chronic illness specific tips that I think are absolute gold. So if you do wake up to pee, do not check your phone or the clock. Why? Because seeing that time triggers, oh no, I've only 2 more hours of sleep left. And anxiety plus sleep equals disaster. So if you're up, handle your business and get back to bed, eyes closed the whole time. The second one was manage your heart rate. So if you do wake up and can't get back to sleep, your heart rate might be too high. So Dr. Breus recommended the 4-7-8 breathing technique. So it works like this. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold that for 7, and exhale for 8. It's like a fast track to calm. So I've tried it and I'm not going to lie, it works. The other thing he said was be mindful of sleep posture. So Dr. Breus explained that if you sleep on the side with less sensation, which some people with chronic illness may have, the other muscles you use can tense up because they're holding on. So it's worth experimenting with pillows for better support or even using a body pillow. So honestly, I could talk about this all day, but here's my takeaway. If you're dealing with a chronic illness, sleep is a non-negotiable part of your healing plan. It's not a luxury. And even for anybody that isn't dealing with chronic illness, it is so, so important. And that is the first place that I would start. It is a pillar of health. So if it feels broken right now, that's okay. I promise you it can be fixed step by step and night by night. All right, my friends. That is a wrap for this mini episode. We've covered Dr. Michael Breus's sleep domino effect, his 5-step sleep blueprint, and those tips for anybody that is navigating a chronic illness or just wants to sleep better. So if today's episode inspired you, share it with a friend, a loved one, or a person in your life who's always tired. The right piece of advice can change the trajectory of someone's life, and you know who I'm talking about that might need that. Make sure you've subscribed to Talk Healing to Me so you don't miss the next guest. And hey, if there's one thing that you take from today's episode, let it be this. Your sleep deserves more love and attention. Until next time, I'm Karen Dwyer, and as always, I'm here to remind you that healing is possible and you're doing better than you think. See you next time, and until then, rest well. Thank you to our sponsors of this episode. You can visit getcleanboss.com/Karen, and also a thank you to our video and podcast producer and editor, Aoife McNamara at Imagine Media. Thank you.